believe that cryptocurrency and the blockchain is the kryptonite of our modern financial system, and I love it. Guys, we're going to jump right into the Bitcoin charts. I'm going to show you what is going on. I'm going to do a little trade breakdown. I was able to win a trade late last night. Fortunately, though, I then lost a trade about an hour ago. I'll show you how that went, and I'll show you what I'm thinking for the short, medium, and long term for Bitcoin. Things kind of didn't go the way that I expected for my last video. So let's check it out. All right, I'm here on the shorter time frame here, but we're going to jump back, as always, to the big picture, where we are continuing our uptrend up to our resistance line. If you look at the weekly, nothing looks like it's really changed. You know, obviously on the shorter time frames, things look a little more dramatic. But once we zoom out, we realize, yeah, nothing's really changed. The only thing that's a little worrisome is, you know, I thought we'd have enough momentum to come up here and, you know, touch the top of our bear flag, but we're kind of running out of momentum here, which is not a good sign. Let's jump down to the daily. So in my last video, guys, I was talking about, my prediction was that our moving average would kind of carry us out of this pattern before it even had a chance to come down and touch the bottom of our bear flag here. However, after a couple of divergences, as you can see, pretty big divergences going on right there. Boom. Oversold stochastic. Boom. This is very bearish. This is bad. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It is not good. So I do expect a big correction here, at least coming down for sure to this 21 moving average. So by the time it gets there, probably be down to 23.5, and then I do expect it to come all the way down and retouch the bottom of our bear flag, somewhere around around 23,000. We should hopefully get some support, unless it's time for us to say goodbye to this pattern, because technically, you know, a bearish flag breaks down bearishly usually. So in fact, let's take a look at what that price target would be if we had that scenario. Obviously, we're going to measure to the top here, to the bottom of our flag, and let's say we broke it right there. Oh boy, I don't know if I even want to see this price target. Oof, guys, that is, oh boy. Let's you know what, honestly though, if it did drop that low, that is a great buying opportunity. I would be definitely accumulating a lot more Bitcoin at those levels. That would be kind of awesome. Could finally maybe get a full Bitcoin. So obviously we don't know what's going to happen yet, and we've had multiple corrections here, but this is the first time, and we did make a higher high, I will say that. So we did make a higher high, even though we're going to correct here again. So technically, you know, we still have bullish market structure, higher lows, higher highs. So there's nothing to worry about yet. We also still have the 21 support coming in as well, combined with our trend support. So nothing to worry about just yet. We need to, you know, see what happens right here at this line, and then we can make decisions. But right now, I am going to probably be looking for short positions over this next day, because I do expect, based on those divergences, based on the stochastic, that we are coming down, you know, at least a few $100s. It's not going to be anything major at this point, because we're kind of winded up so much. You know, moves aren't huge, but I do expect some negative momentum there, which makes sense. You know, it always wants to come back to the 21. Let's jump down to a shorter time frame so we can kind of get even a more clear picture. Yeah, so right now we're kind of, it's tough right here, because we're just in the middle of this range. So this is kind of a tough spot to make any trades, because technically you don't want to take any trades in the middle of a range, right? You want to wait till it comes down here and take that trade. You want to wait till it comes up here, you know, take that trade, right? Right now it's like, you know, you don't necessarily want to take a lot of these trades, just not a lot of, you know, big enough moves. You really got to catch the bottom of these moves perfectly. Now, as you can see, we are being supported right now by the 200 moving average on the 4-hourly combined with the 21, and we are holding that. In fact, we can even jump down to a shorter time frame. You can see this range that I marked up here that we're just, you know, trading between right now, and it does look like kind of a bear flag, really, right? We broke down here, and then we're just ranging sideways. Those are usually pretty strong breakouts to the downside. So I do, again, like I said, from our higher time frame, I'm expecting more downside. So I am expecting a negative breakdown out of this guy. So this is definitely a trade that could be had. Let's look at our price target for this guy. And that, hey, look at that. It makes perfect sense. the price target, lines with the bottom of our wedge. So this could be a great trade right here to make as soon as we are ready to. Hopefully, I'm probably going to be asleep while this breaks out, of course, like always. So yeah, I do expect, again, look for shorts right here down to this longer term support level. Again, a little risky because we are over the 200, but I still think based on the longer time frame, this would be a good trade to take. So I want to show you the trade I won last night, guys. I just left it up here for you. So one of the things I saw, I'll switch to the regular candles. So first thing I saw was just this fat wick, right? Just boom. Just look at that. Like, these type of candle wicks are pretty easy. I kind of wish I had actually upped how much I put in this trade. I'm actually learning right now. One of the things I'm learning as a trader is how to evaluate, how good is your setup, and then basically then determine how much you put into it, right? Because if the setup is this good, you want to bet more, right? If I'm a poker player, poker players don't bet the same amount every hand. They, bet based on the probabilities, and they, bet bigger if the setup is better or the probabilities are better. So I wish I had actually, saw this as a setup and put in more, because I saw this huge wick, and then on the Heiken Ashi candles, you saw the switch, right? You saw, and I think I was on the 15 when I was watching it as well, and I immediately saw the switch from green to red, and Heiken is really good at catching these moves here, right? So I saw on the Heiken, wow, we just had a switch to the red on the 15-minute. I looked at our regular candles and I saw, wow, again, that's a bearish pattern right there with the, closing within that candle and then the follow through. And then if you look at the Heiken, if you look on the longer time frame, the hourly, you can see that it was just just look at that wick, just huge. So this was a really easy short to take. I took it at a 1 to 5, so I won that trade. Wish I had left some more on the table, but I want to take nothing wrong with taking profits, nothing wrong at all. Now, unfortunately, I just lost a trade. I'm gonna go show you that one as well. I'm gonna show you my wins and losses here. And yeah, my stop loss was not in a good spot, although it looks like it's not gonna matter. So this was, if I was to rate this setup here, this was definitely like a C or D setup. I definitely even knew going in, like, this isn't a great setup, but I saw this big bullish candle off of, one of our fall. This is a different chart here where I have kind of a different. I kind of have the falling wedge pattern in this one as opposed to the bear flag, right? I wanted to just have a different thing I'm looking at. And so I saw, hey, we're at this support here of the falling wedge. We got this nice big candle. It's a bullish engulfing, 3-line strike. We even got my little smiley indicator, which I like. And I thought, and we would get a little volume too, a little volume showing, hey, maybe some buyers stepped into the market there, some good support. So I bought in right here, had my stop loss down here, but it just wasn't safe enough. Really, you want to put it below that first move. And I kind of knew in the back of my mind, like, I don't know how safe that is. I mean, it's a little bit below this this trend resistance, but as you can see, we just came right down, literally got stop loss hunted. It came down, took me out, and then immediately shot back up. So you gotta love that, although it looks like it's gonna come down anyway. So anyway, that wasn't a great setup. I just kind of took it just because I was kind of bored, to be honest. But we had a couple indicators going that I like. We did have a nice wick, right? Saw the nice wick on that one. Some volume on it. But as you can see, like, the volume follow-up was just so low. It just wasn't. That wasn't enough, right? So the moment, look at that, nothing, no enthusiasm, no buyers really in the market for this one. So was not my best setup. So unfortunately, took an L on that one. So I gotta learn. And again, if I had just really bet a lot on this one, then it wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have bet very much on this one because it just wasn't. The setup I already knew just was like more of a C or D. This was more of an A or B setup. So something I'm learning as a trader that I will continue to improve upon. So again, guys, look for those short positions. Also, though, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. Make sure to do your own research. Quick look at Ethereum. It is not looking quite as favorable. One of the things I'm really worried about here is what we call the tweezer top. And that's when you get basically exact same point of, it almost makes like a double top. It's called a tweezer top candle formation. So it hasn't fully printed. We've got another 5 days. This is a weekly, so we got another 5 days on this candle. So this candle hasn't printed, guys, but if this candle prints down, we almost had like the exact same point here. That would be a tweezer top, and we would see some big downside, which, guys, I'm starting to lean more bearish. One of the reasons, I don't know if you guys saw, but Shiba Inu pumped like 40 something percent. Whenever you see these meme coins pump, that's a bad sign. I look at that as, uh-oh, we might have topped out here. Because that's when people start putting money into meme coins, that's when you know you're in trouble. So it might be a decent time if you bought in like way low, early 20s. Might want to take a little bit off the table just in case we do get something I've been predicting, but I was expecting, a big push towards 30K and then a nice scam wick down. But it's possible we get that downside before we get that push. So it doesn't have to make it all the way to our resistance line. Sometimes it sort of almost makes a new trend where it doesn't come all the way up and retouch that, but just starts breaking down even sooner. So that is a possibility. So I am feeling a little bit more bearish, but again, not going to make any decisions until Bitcoin breaks that falling wedge. And here's ETH here again. Here's our falling wedge that we just kind of broke underneath. Now again, it's not the end of the world. Here we broke underneath. We recovered, shot back up. So these are more like ranges, not exact, like I'm not going to get into a short just because we broke this, right? I mean, it could recover. But with Bitcoin looking the way it's looking, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad option to take a short position, especially with how much this is pumped. I mean, this is pumped way more than Bitcoin. So it probably needs a little cooling off time. I wonder if that's even a little head and shoulders right there. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, guys, look for shorts here in the short term. I'm trying to think if there's any good buying levels here that I would try to buy off of in the more longer time frame. I think I'll have to do that on my next video. I'll have to show you guys like, hey, if we do get a big correction here, where am I buying, right? Where are my buy levels? Again, the falling wedge pattern technically breaks all the way down to the bottom of the wedge. That would be pretty insane. That would be all the way back to 1,000. I don't expect that to happen, but ETH could follow Bitcoin. So, yep, it's bearish days a little bit. I know I've switched my view. Yesterday I was just talking about how, we're going to come out of the pattern, bullishly, but I still, said that, hey, we're probably going to get that scam wick down. One last capitulation, scare everyone, get everyone to dump their coins, and then that's when big money buys it up, and that's when we keep going. So hopefully better luck tomorrow on that trade. 1 for 1. It's not bad though. I made a little profit, right? Guys, as always, make sure to save your money, grow your money, and buy Bitcoin. Don't leave your money in dirty fiat. It's going to zero. It's the ultimate crap coin. I'll see you guys in the next one.